Jainil Mehta has been dancing for over 12 years. Originally from India, he trained at the Shamak Davar International Dance School in Indian folk and Bollywood dance styles. He eventually transitioned to contemporary dance and hip-hop. Dance has taken Jainil across the world, eventually taking him to USC's Kaufman School of Dance. His choreographic experience includes several self-produced and choreographed dance productions. He's the director of choreography at USC's Bollywood dance team. He has danced with Mohakar Flamenco Dance Company and has choreographed for legendary Indian Garba Queen and Falguni Pathak. Jainil is part of the ISTD Imperial Society of Teachers Dancing. He is the recipient of the Best Male Dancer Award by Umang, India's largest inter-college dance competition, and he is the founder of FIDA, unifying and creating an inspiring dance community through regular classes, workshops, and outreach programs. Just recently, Jainil signed with XXL Studio Works and Do Your Thing Network. Jainil is an artistic entrepreneur, and his goal is to realize his dream of creating a performing arts management institute that will prepare students for their aspiring artistic careers. And today, in Dance in America, we welcome Jainil Mehta. Hello everyone, welcome to Dance in America. I am so excited today because directly from India, I have a wonderful dancer, choreographer, an artist that I had the pleasure to meet when I was dancing with Mohakar Flamenco under Katerina Thomas. And I met this guy and I was blown away by his talent, by his magic, by his beauty. He's so amazing, and I just had to have him here in Dance in America so that you guys could get to know him a little bit more, know about his work, how he began dancing, everything that he's been doing in regards to dance. So here he is, Jainil Mehta. Hi, Jainil. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just back home in India right now.
Okay. And how is it? How is it in India?
It is right now we're all on a lockdown, and we're not allowed to go out unless it's necessary for us to go out. So
Okay.
it's going fine. It's just the cases are rising and we're thriving.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let me ask you. So I met you for the flamenco performance that we did a couple of years ago, and
Yeah.
your dancing was so beautiful. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, when did you start dancing? How did you get into dance and that sort of thing that everybody wants to know?
Yeah. So I started dancing when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And I actually I started with Indian folk and Indian
Okay.
classical forms for about 2-3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
then I transitioned to contemporary style. And after I did that for like 12 years, and along that way I did like hip hop and jazz and just other forms. And then I decided to come to LA for my undergraduation. So I'm doing an undergraduation in dance, so at USC, Gloria Kaufman School of Dance in Los Angeles.
Oh.
So I came about dance in, I would say, like when I was 8 or 9 years old, and then I realized how uh, energetic it is for me,
Yeah.
and how it energizes me. And I realized that I used to start creating a lot of dances at home by watching videos. By if I heard like a song on the radio, I used to be like, oh, I need to like create something from this. So that's how I started actually integrating dance into my life. Was about when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and then by like I would say 13, 14, I knew that I wanted to have this as my profession. And then I just the good part was that I just kept going and I continued.
So,
So
did you start with when you started dancing? Which one was the type of dance that called your attention when you first began to dance? which one do you want to do more? Was it Indian dance? Was it ballet, modern? How did you
It was contemporary. It
contemporary?
was contemporary dancing where I really thought that, oh wow, I just love it.
You just
Yeah.
loved it, and you
Yeah.
just began since then. Oh my goodness. And I've seen that now you're mixing the two styles. You're mixing contemporary dance with Indians. How did that come about, or how did you arrive at that moment where you decided, oh, I want to fusion the two of them?
So it's the story is quite funny. I was a part of this video called Ghar More Pardesiya, and it's all in white, and it's also at USC Kaufman. And I did this video with a friend, and I had no like a formal classical training background in terms of, like, people do 7-8 years. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I did it for a couple of years. So I actually just did that dance, just for my friend, and I realized how, first of all, how good I was in that video, and secondly, the audience, they loved me doing that style. So I
Yeah.
actually got like a boost in my following, and a lot of like eyes came on me when I did that dance.
When you did
And
that.
I was like, okay, wait, let me just like try and see, because I love contemporary. I love doing contemporary, and
Yeah.
I can never get tired of it.
You're
But
so
then I
good at it. Yeah.
Thank you. And I started liking just this style, because I was enjoying, it was kind of like me me dancing in LA, and finding my roots back. So it
Yeah.
was kind of like that. And when I started to realize that, I started to integrate contemporary and Indian style of dancing. And then now what you see is what I do is semi-classical, and people are loving it. So,
It's
uh,
beautiful.
yes, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so interesting because I think when we see you, we think that you began with both. We assume that you did both from the very beginning, that you were doing both Indian dance and contemporary at the same time. So it's super interesting that that's not how it was. You were a contemporary dancer, and then by being here in Los Angeles, is like, it's funny. I think a lot of artists, immigrants, because I'm an immigrant too, we it seems to happen to us where we're here doing a different style, and somehow, ironically, the United States, the land of immigrants, makes us go back to our roots, and things that we didn't think we were going to do, then we end up doing. And
Yes.
it's so ironic that I think it happens to so many of us, and not just in dance but also uh, as artists, because I've read biographies of like writers and poets, and it seems that when they go away from their countries,
Mhm.
something calls them back, and they end up creating something related to where they're from.
Completely. I yeah,
That
yeah.
is so amazing. Oh my God. So that happened to you as well. Oh, I love that. So how do you prepare for a performance? Because, a lot of times, like last time when we performed together, people will
Mhm.
come up to me and tell me, oh my God, he's so gorgeous. His extensions are so beautiful. His jumps, his turns. So I'm like, okay, finally, when I get to talk to him, I'm going to ask him, how do you prepare for it? Is there anything that you do specially to prepare for an upcoming performance? Do you do any kind of cross training, or is it just dance?
It's quite funny because I've been told to cross train,
Okay.
but honestly, I do not.
Go. You just like to dance.
I just like to dance. It's funny because I like cross training can be anything, but like I do not like to go to the gym. Like that's one thing which I do not like. So if I want to exercise, I would do it outside in a park. I would walk. I would run. I would do anything, but I would not go to the gym. So that's one thing, and also I don't play any sports, so that's
Okay.
just so that's also ruled out completely. So I actually just dance, and definitely like I think it's more like my preparation before a performance. I've
Mhm.
never even thought about it, because it's never come to my mind that I have to do this, I have to do that before a performance. Of course, like, I would like to like warm up, and there's just the same
Yeah.
things which everyone does, but I think it's more about connecting to myself at that moment. So that you would like, I would be thinking about the performance, but I would not be overthinking about it in terms of like, okay, this step comes after this and this and that. I
Yeah.
would actually just um zone out to something else.
Mhm.
uh Maybe just talk to people, and just like, maybe on my phone, just
Yeah.
zone out completely. And
Mhm.
as soon as I get um just backstage before my performance,
Yeah.
again, I will just start talking to all the dancers. I'm just like, it's happening, and then you never know by you never know when you're just on stage. It's kind of like, very instant, like, I don't have time to think about, oh, I have to run this way and then that way, and then lift them up. I don't have that time to think because I'm doing something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm doing that, and then as soon as my song comes, I'm on stage. So it's sometimes you don't have to think so much about
Yeah.
before performing.
Yeah.
um but yeah, zoning out really helps me. For example, if I've learned a piece in a day and I'm super scared,
Yeah.
I will definitely not think about it at all,
Yeah.
because
No, especially
yes,
if you just learn one thing. I mean, one piece on the same day that you're supposed to perform it. You just have to go out there and have fun. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
completely. Yeah,
And
and then at the end of the day, it's just having fun, and just being present in the moment. It's not even about. So that's
yeah,
what I mean.
oh,
Yeah.
I love that, Janelle, being present in the moment. You're so right about that. So, do you have any insecurities?
In terms of uh,
In
just
terms,
dancing.
yeah, in terms of your dancing, any insecurities, any kind of thing that because I think all of us sometimes we have self-doubts, and but everybody is different, like, do you
Um.
have any?
Uh.
And if
I
you
think
and if you do, what do you do? Are there any, do you have any tips or anything like for
mm,
you that you can, on how to deal with them?
correct. So regarding insecurities, not really, in terms of, because I love um how I'm dancing, so, just being very confident about that. But I think there's this one thing which I do not have is, even though I'm flexible, I'm not flexible as in terms of like, getting my leg up, 180 degrees and that. So I'm not very flexible that way. So maybe, that could be one of the insecurities, but I've never thought about it that much, just
Right.
because it's never hindered my performance.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
on that level. So yeah, unless I have to stay there for like two counts and then down, which has never happened to me
Yeah.
in any of my choreographies or any repertory which I've learned.
Mhm.
So no, not yet. I think if there has been a few instances where I've been insecure about um, the style, and that if I'm looking good at it or not,
Yeah.
in that particular style, because I remember, like, I have never done contemporary ballet before.
Yeah.
So when I came to the US, and our first piece was Hissy Fits by Dwight Rodin, Complexions Ballet, and I was terrified because I had no idea what it was. And we learned the entire 23-minute piece in 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
And it was like quick, and it was every day. And I was like, oh my God, what I've got myself into. And, and I realized like how intensive these 4 years are going to be. But
Yeah.
then, after a point, it was like, it was flowing and I was enjoying. But the first 3 weeks, I was just terrified, also because of the style. And then after a point, I think, um, I did not think about how I was looking.
Mhm.
I was actually also, like, I would say, in the first 3 weeks I was imitating
Yeah.
a lot of the dancers who were with me, and then I was just feeling like, oh, I'm dancing like them.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, just like talking to myself, saying that, oh, I'm doing it like them. Um, but then after a point, after like a few weeks passed by, when a performance was coming in the fall, um, then I started to realize like my individuality and how I should be moving. And
Yeah.
then I just got out of it and I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to move. And everyone loved that. So the first 3 weeks when I was actually imitating
Yeah.
was when I was just like, I was sidelined. I was not like, it was not like they were not giving me corrections, but it was like, you know, it looks right. It looks similar. But I think when I had my own individuality after the 3 weeks,
Yeah.
um, it kind of helped me and it worked in my favor.
Oh, that's wonderful, Jainil. Yeah, that's so good. I think that's such a good realization to arrive to, because a lot of times, as dancers, especially when we're in training, we want to blend in. We want to blend in. We want to be like everyone else, especially when you take, ballet or contemporary. It's like everybody has, especially when you're a teenager or when you're a kid, in the academies, you want to blend in and you want to be just like everybody else. And it's hard when the moment comes that you have to find your own voice, but it's so great that you got to that moment, because finding your own voice or your own flavor is what's setting you apart from everybody else, and is making you a much better artist.
Yes, completely correct. Yeah, just find. I think it's very difficult to find your own voice, and that I'm still working on it. And I think hopefully, like by I like these 4 years of like my study in dance,
Mhm.
it's not just been about getting knowledge, but also giving knowledge to my body. So I think that was that's the most difficult part about um, just just
Yeah,
knowing your voice and knowing your individual self.
yeah, I think it's interesting, because it's like dance sometimes can be so external, because you have to learn the steps and it's all about the lines and how you look outside, but at the same time there's a point where you have to, it's external, but at some point you have to sort of come from the inside out.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So first it's like it's all about the outside, and at some point you have to like sort of open it and then come from the inside for
Mhm.
it to make sense and to become better. And
Yeah.
that's so difficult. And I think sometimes many dancers, that's where they get, like everybody's coming up, because it happened to me too, like everybody's coming up at the same time, and then at that point is when a lot of dancers, if they're not able to reverse it and go back inside to come out, that's when then they start just kind of leaving the dance world behind.
Yes. Completely.
So I
Completely.
think it's beautiful. It's so beautiful what you're doing. It's just that I love everything that you're doing. So how did you transition from dancer to choreographer?
Um. So I feel I was always like a creator. Like
Uh-huh.
started dancing in my living room. I started choreographing. I used to have like sets. Like I used to hang cloths and have so many things in my living room,
Mhm.
and to show it to my family every 2-3 days. That anyways used to happen when I was like 8 or 9, and it continued until I uh, came to LA. Um, and I think I was also like choreographing a lot for my school events and competitions and so much more. So I think I came about it um, when I was in grade 2, when I
Oh,
was in the second grade, and I had actually helped one of my teachers for a competition. It was very funny because it was very like informal and
mhm.
just like, okay, oh, we could do this step, we could do that step, all of that, and it was very like innocent. I think when I was then after that, my first choreography which I did was in the 6th grade, so
Okay.
that was also quite early in the game, but and we had also won that competition after that. So after that competition, I got a lot of offers from my school to choreograph and to teach.
Great.
And
Uh-huh.
because, I feel like I've done everything quite early because I'm just 21 right now. and I'm like, I've started teaching. I'm getting like full
Mhm.
like classes, um, and I've started choreographing and finding my inner voice. I think everything is just happening so early for me. Uh, like having my own organization at USC,
Yes.
uh, managing that, just so many things. Like, um, and I'm very grateful about that, just because I allowed myself, and my parents allowed me to
To
get to that
to get to
point.
that. Yeah, yeah, that's one thing. I've been talking to different dancers, and one thing that seems to be so important is having your family support. Like, a lot of times the arts are not exactly what parents and families want their kids to pursue. It's like when a child says they want to be a dancer, or they want to be an actor, or they want to be a visual artist. Sometimes they're like, no, but why don't you want to be a doctor? They always want you to be the doctor, the lawyer, the architect.
Uh-huh. I realized this like during quarantine. Because I've got so much time to spend with family over here, and I realized this, and I actually tell this to everyone, that it's not about um they don't think about the profession that much, in terms of like they think about how you're going to survive, because everyone knows how challenging it is for dancers to survive physically and mentally. It's just a lot of pressure, and also financially, of course.
Yeah.
But even like physically and mentally, there's just so much, mainly mentally, because if you're not doing financially well, what are you going to do? Your mental state is already imbalanced, etc.
Okay.
So they think about that a lot. And
Mm,
I think when a person is very strong in their roots, and if they want to do something,
mm.
and parents are satisfied that, okay, this person, whatever happens, this person is going to be fine, and is going to make sure that he this person is going to uh, achieve what that person wants to achieve.
Yeah.
uh, and if you're strong in that, then your parents are not going to say no. There are very rare chances, because what they want to see is they want like um, it's kind of like an agreement. They want an agreement from you that, oh, you're going to be fine. I think that's what all parents care about. It's not about because they know that other professions give more money, in terms of like it's kind of quick,
Yeah.
because for like the arts,
And
it's
it's guarantee as well. Like, there's gonna be a job for you when you graduate if you become
yeah.
a lawyer, or it's like it's a given.
Yes, completely. And I think because for the arts it's a slow process.
Oh,
Uh, People feel that you might stop at any moment. So
yeah,
unless you show that to them, that you're not going to stop, you're going to keep going,
yeah,
and by hook or by crook, whatever is going to happen, I think then they're going to be fine with it. And I actually asked my parents why they allowed me to do this, and this was literally their reason. And because I kept going, I continued from when I was like 5 years old till right now, and I never stopped, even during my exams,
mm,
just anything. So I think they realized that
well,
um, that that I'm just going to continue, that I'm not going
you had that fire in you.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
important. It's so important to have that, because it is a hard, like you say, it's a hard profession, and you have to be constantly working, and it's so much more, because it's like, it's your body, it's your mind, it's your spirit, it's everything.
yeah,
It's
completely.
not like you can just put it away for a second, because it's all, your body's your instrument. So how do you put, it's like
Yes, completely.
yeah. So it's well, I think it's so wonderful, everything that you're doing, Jainil. And how did the organization come about?
Mhm.
Your organization is at USC, right?
Yes. So so it's called FIDA,
Okay.
and it's FIDA means raging passion. That's what it means. So I
Nice.
came up with the name. So I was in a competition team where I was choreographing for the group. It was a Bollywood group at USC during my second year. So my second year, I was actually choreographing for them, and then it was just becoming too competitive in terms of like not just it was within the group. It was just becoming a lot like toxic, I would say. And I realized like how I'm starting to not like choreographing for them, and then at that point I realized that I have to start an organization where I am teaching students who want to just learn and come and just have fun. It's not for a competition. It's not for a performance. It's not for something like we're gonna do like a show after a year. It's just you come, you dance, you have fun, and you leave. Like there's no like you know and that's how I started, and I realized like how a lot of beginners want to do that. Uh, and um, there's no organization like that at USC which teaches dance, because most of them are like for performances, competitions, etc. So that's how I actually came about it, and yeah, that's where I am.
And what kind of dances do you guys teach in that organization? Are particular styles, all the styles?
Yes, so my goal is to teach them. So we had a dance convention in the fall, like the first semester itself. It was kind of like a huge step that we took,
Okay.
but we still got like 50 to 60 people, attendees who came,
Yeah.
and there were 12 choreographers, and all different styles, like from Indian folk to flamenco to jazz to contemporary, heels, so many things, and belly dancing.
Oh,
So
nice.
Sonia was there.
Oh,
So
nice.
uh, yeah, so my goal is to like just give them knowledge about like different dance forms,
Of course.
um especially like last semester I introduced we had like a jazz, like Lindy Hop,
Oh,
and master class, and then we had a belly dancing master class,
nice.
and we did jazz, we did
Mhm.
um of course we did Bollywood, because most of like my the crowd which I get is like the Indian community.
Oh,
So we had to do something which is like Bollywood, of course. And then of course like there are a lot of people who come like of different cultures
yeah.
to like, it's all
Ages and different ages too, or mainly college students, or do you
uh,
have like adults and kids and
there, there are adults. There are no kids yet, because also we are not allowed for minors to come. So it's
over the age of 18?
over the age of 18.
18
Yeah.
and up. Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. And are you guys gonna have another one coming up soon? Like when all of this passes, will you continue doing
Yeah.
that?
Oh yes, completely. Yeah.
I
It
think
was my last year, but I want to definitely continue the legacy. But like, let's see who takes it over. But especially like this is my last year.
yeah.
I give it all to my organization and just to USC in general.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's amazing that you're leaving your signature at USC.
Yes, I would love. I really want to. But I just need to find the right person who can take it over,
And
because
take over.
I've yeah, because I've seen some organization taking over, and things have changed, so I don't want that to happen.
Didn't want that to happen because I mean, you know how you created it and you know what your goals were, and so now, yeah, you need to make sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So what are your plans after you graduate USC? Are you planning to stay in the United States, or are you gonna go back to India, or are you gonna be going back and forth, or
I so I'm actually I do not know. I'm definitely gonna go back to India eventually, but
okay?
not right after graduation. So I don't know if I'm gonna be staying in the US. Not LA particularly. I want to get out of LA. That's like my thing. But I'm actually looking into contemporary dance companies in Europe, UK,
Oh, nice.
um, so
Yes.
New Zealand. Like that's where I'm looking at. But I'm also looking in the US too, just because I have the visa. I can
And you're here. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. So, Janelle, up to this point, what do you think is your most memorable moment in your career? because I know even though you're so young, you've had such an amazing experience as a dancer and choreographer. But is there one particular show or one particular experience that you can say, "Wow, I carry it with me. Like it was amazing, and I still remember it to this day."
Oh yeah, completely. I think all my living room performances. Uh, I
Okay.
think all of them. I remember. I feel I remember like each one of the performances that I did, and when I recall, I'm like, oh wow, I did this. It was so funny. So I have like a two-floor,
Uh-huh.
like like an apartment,
Yeah.
and like the top floor has
Uh-huh.
like a terrace which has all flowers, and it's like a kind of like a garden. So there's like this pipe, like a water pipe, which I had actually got from the top floor to the down floor to my living room. So the pipe was
Uh-huh.
down, and I remember we had bought a TV set, like a new TV set that time. So there was a lot of plastic,
Oh,
which was there. So what happened is I just like laid it on the floor, um, and then I got this pipe from top. So it kind of gave an effect of like the rain, uh, and I had water in my living room. Like the entire living room was water. Also because that's how I use the plastic. That was the funny part. So I remember like I have done crazy things in my living room. um yeah, it's been like I've decorated it. I think those have been my most memorable
memorable
ones.
moments. I think probably because that has been your creative space, or like your where you have experimented.
Yes, that's where I started
Yeah.
completely. Like even like I had done a birthday live
Uh-huh.
uh recently. Like my birthday is on 4th June. So I
Okay.
did like a
Yes.
birthday live performance. And that was also in my living room. And it was so good to get back to just dancing at home.
Of course.
And yes, I love the quarantine time where I'm just at home dancing, learning, because that's where I started.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. Wow, that's so amazing. I love that. I love that your creative space, is or like your laboratory, like a scientist, is like is your most memorable thing. I mean, that's probably why you have such a beautiful way of expressing yourself, and that's what we see when we see you dancing and on the stage. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing, Janelle. And if is there anything you would like to change about the dance world?
Oh,
Is there something, if you could change anything about the dance world, what would you change and why?
um, there are a lot of things.
Really? Oh, wow. Okay, okay.
Lot of-
I mean,
But
I'm asking this question to everyone, actually, everybody that I'm interviewing, I'm asking, this is a very important question that I want to get, that I want to hear from everybody. So,
I feel like I think the most important one for me uh,
mhm.
is um oh wow
It's
it's
okay.
kind of like finding okay, yeah, finding a balance in the artistry and the business.
Okay.
I feel like people have gotten too much into the business side and
Mhm.
too much in the artistry side. And I feel like for people to sustain in the dance world and to get more people in it and to make it a larger community, I think it's very necessary for us to balance that. Just because if you have the art but you don't know how to sell it, that's just
Yeah.
there's no point. And the
Yeah.
same thing that if you know how to sell it but you don't have the right knowledge and that the artistry, then there's a problem again.
Wow.
So I think that balance is needed. um, and I think that with that, it'll be like a safe space for all the students to come,
Yes.
and you're not commercializing it, and you're also not making it um, unprofitable for your, like, you're not going into losses for yourself as well. So I
Yeah.
think it kind of creates the space for students to come and just be safe in that space. So
Yeah.
that's very important. Of course, right now we're talking a lot about equity, diversity, and inclusivity, um, and just making sure that everyone in the space is
Mm.
feeling equal, and it's not, there's no like hierarchy. That's one thing which I would, you know it's sometimes it's just very evident from choreographer to choreographer how you perceive a student.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think it's necessary to make sure that everyone feels equal. It just, yeah.
Wow, those are amazing points. I totally agree with you. It's so interesting. I've been asking this question to my interviewees, and I love it because it's like there's so much that we need to work on. And I think, like I was telling somebody else, it's up to us. Once we realize what needs to be changed, then we can create that change and we can contribute for something new to be born out of this. So
Yes.
I think that's so wonderful, Jainil. I know so many amazing dancers and artists, and they, like you say, they're amazing artists, but then they have focused so much on just being artists that they make a living as something completely different.
Mhm.
And it's so sad because I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what it would be like if they could make a living in their
Mhm.
art, because with the little bit that they're spending in their art, they're so wonderful, but then they have
Right.
to have that second life to make a living.
Correct. I think, and that kind of gives like a surety. um like if you're able to make a good living out of it, I think that kind of in, inspires a lot of people to get into the community as well. Because
Yeah.
if you're a beautiful artist but don't have the finances to pay your bills, then you're not going to inspire that much to the audience to come and make dance a profession. So that's something. So I think it kind of goes, I think that's like the root problem, and
Yeah.
that could solve a lot of things.
Yeah, I think so too, especially here in the United States. I think that dance has become very commercialized, and it's
Mhm.
more about making a profit or selling tickets when you do a show. And if there was a way where you can, I don't know, if there was a way that dance could support itself, and that it was maybe the state. There's a lot of countries where their artists are taken care of by the state, by the government, because they know the arts are so important for the people, that they
Mhm.
support it and they provide. And I mean, they're not, dancers are not rich, but they do have a nice living as a dancer or as a choreographer. They're able to,
Right.
and so then therefore they're able to create and provide performances and workshops, and they don't have to worry about anything because it's there for them.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful. And I know about the hierarchy too, because I work with choreographers that you're like, oh my God, like you have to that level where they let you know they're here and you're there, and you're like, but I'm an artist too. I want to have a little bit of respect. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are great points, Janelle.
You.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Let me ask you, is there anybody that you want to talk about that has made a great impact in your life? A mentor or someone that has really like impacted you?
There have been so many people. Honestly, I think I was asked this yesterday as well. Um, when I was talking to someone, and I'm like, I am inspired by so many people. Like it's not just one person.
Person.
Um, but definitely, I would say that if I had to be, I was inspired. There's this choreographer called Saroj Khan,
Uh-huh.
uh, in India, and she is the greatest like Bollywood choreographer.
Okay.
Um, she's retired now, but she's choreographed amazing like choreographies, dances in Bollywood, and she also started like through her. They started an award called Best Choreography in
Okay.
like award ceremonies just because of her. Um, so I was actually just listening to her interview and a TED talk, and I think that kind of impacted a lot, uh, and in terms of like how I choreograph and so many things. So I think Saroj Khan is one of them,
Oh,
uh,
nice.
who lately has inspired me so much. But there have been so many, so many dancers, choreographers, artists, and just people in general
Mm-hmm.
have inspired me to create so many so many things in dance and just beyond.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Oh, Janelle, I love that. If you had to give, if you had to give advice to a young dancer, what would it be?
Just continue, and as I always say, dream to dance. Dreaming, you need to keep dreaming. I think it starts with dreaming,
Yeah,
and then of course you have to work hard and continue. So dream first, because if you don't dream, um, you're not going to get a thought. So if you start dreaming, I think that's when you can start accomplishing what you want to achieve. And
mhm.
um, yeah, just continue, keep continuing. And I think if you want to keep this as a profession, you have to, as I said before, um, make sure you give that surety to your parents. And sometimes it's not even a verbal conversation, it's
Yeah,
just doing.
I
You
do.
don't have to talk and say, oh, I am going to do it. I think that does not give a surety. I think it's all about doing. So if you continue doing that, I think you're going to be fine.
I think so too. I think that's so good that you're saying that because, a lot of times, yeah, it's like you have to prove yourself to your parents in by doing the work, even as a kid. I remember when I was little and I started taking classes and my schoolwork was getting super heavy in Colombia, and my parents will just be like observing me to see what I would do because I will go to ballet class and I will come back home and then I had to do homework. And I kept it up. I mean, I remember going to bed at midnight and I was barely 9 years old. And kids at 9 years of age usually go to bed so early. But it was because I didn't have the afternoons free. I had gone to the ballet school and then I came home and then I had to do homework and I would just be like, and I never cared to socialize or anything like that because I wanted to be in my classes. And so my parents, same thing, they let me be because they saw how serious I was. So I think that's such a good advice that, yeah, they have to do the work and they have to show it with their actions,
Mm-hmm.
that they're serious about it. It's
Yeah,
not just about wanting it and talking about it, but it's really doing it.
yeah, definitely.
It's
It's
not,
all about.
yeah, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do.
Mhm.
Oh, Janelle. And so when are you planning to come back? Because I know you went into India because of COVID, huh?
Correct. Yeah. Because I remember we were also going to be doing the show.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't know if that's happening, but
Yeah, I
uh,
don't know. I know.
but yeah, I hope I can come in August. I'm still like I have to
Have they
figure.
told you anything in school? Have they told you guys how things are gonna be when they'll reopen for the fall, right?
They are reopening. It's going to be like it's a hybrid setting, so they're going to do in person and online.
Okay.
Uh, and for some classes, it's in person, but for all the dance classes, it's all in person.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, and for all the other GEs, etc., that's online.
Fine. Okay.
So the good part is at least the dance one is in person.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, oh my God, can you imagine?
yeah, and then they're gonna have smaller groups, etc. So
Okay.
it's gonna be different, but I hope it's gonna be worth it. But yeah, hopefully August when I start booking my flights, and then just knowing what flight I can get to, just because it's mostly banned,
Yeah, yeah,
international
you're
flights
right. Right now, with everything that's going on, is kind of up in the air, and things keep changing.
keep changing completely. Yes, because yesterday I realized I got to know that the flights are banned until August 15th. So
Oh,
I'm like stressed, and also like all the other special flights, they're also restricting them. So let's see what's happening.
oh wow, Janelle. Oh,
So I may not come back, but I may come back. It's kind of like a because I'm just figuring that out.
yeah. These are crazy times for sure. I know. Is there something that you would like people to know about you that we don't know, and that you feel is important that they know?
I feel everyone knows everything about me. I'm kind of very open about it. Uh, no, nothing that comes to my mind right now. But I feel I'm kind of very open about like just um, what I do, who I am. So
Who you
yeah,
are. Yeah, yeah. All
yeah,
right.
I don't have anything to like hide, or just
Tell us
there's
something that we don't know.
there's nothing like that.
Okay. Well, I thought I will ask, because people always want to know about what others are, doing, especially dancers, because they see us up there performing and looking a certain way. And sometimes they have this idea about us. And so it's good. That's why it's important for me to ask, is there something you would like people to know? And,
Yeah, completely. No, there's actually nothing much in terms of like how I create. It's mostly all through my personal experiences.
through your personal experience. Oh, nice. Okay.
Yes, that's something which I think everyone kind of knows about it, but I can just be vocal about it in terms of like, yeah. So all my choreographies which I do, it's all of them are personal stories or personal experiences. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's so nice.
Uh-huh.
Or so, I mean, it's so nice too, because I think it's coming from a place, it's coming from a special place in you. So it has a lot more substance to it because it's coming from somewhere.
Completely, yeah. And that's what I get my emotions out from and my feelings out from.
Okay. That's
Completely.
it's funny because that is one of the things that people have complimented about you so much when they came to see us in the show last time, the flamenco show. They were like, they kept talking about how beautiful and your expressions, and how you capture every emotion that you needed to have throughout the story as we were dancing it. So I did get those comments of my friends and my dance partners that came to see us.
Thank you so much. Thank
They
you.
were like, oh, how did he do it? He's so beautiful.
You were so beautiful. Like I love you.
Ah,
And
thanks. Thank you so much. I know I miss dancing, and by the way, in this interview we say hello to Katerina. We miss you so much, Katerina. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing, to think that my calendar just reminded me a couple of weeks ago, because I had it in my Google calendar, and it said tech rehearsal. I'm like, oh my God, we would have
Mhm.
been in tech rehearsal, and
Yeah, it would have been so different. Yeah.
yeah, but we're here, and I think the most important thing is that we're healthy and that we continue doing our art. And how are you
Correct.
continuing doing your art? Do you do stuff at home? Do you have a space at home?
Oh yes, completely. Like I think the the best part about the quarantine is that the dance community is still living.
Yeah,
I mean, we are surviving.
yeah,
I the funny part is I was actually telling my dad about this, and I was like, Dad, your business is shut down right now, but mine is just is continuing. So I was very happy about it. I was just so happy how the arts is booming during quarantine.
Yeah.
We are surviving. We are at least like, having classes,
Yeah.
people are paying for it, so many things. So I think we are up in the game working, and while others are just sitting at home doing nothing. So I'm kind of happy about that. But yes, I'm doing a lot of like, I'm creating a lot of things. I've also started learning um like Kathak,
Oh,
um
okay.
which, yeah, I'm doing like classes over there, like, online. And I'm doing that. And I've actually created so many things. I also started like painting and drawing again.
Oh, okay. That's something we didn't know about you. So you're also a visual
Oh
artist.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted that on my Instagram. But yeah, I did like a painting. And I didn't know about this as well about me, but I started writing poems
Oh, okay.
uh, too. So, and I actually created a series called Pause and Play. It's also on my YouTube.
Oh, nice.
Uh, Pause and Play, and there's like a poem and there's a dance, which I did at home. And it was quite fascinating because the dance was all about how, like, obviously the choreography was different, but it was just how different was shot. And you can do so many things at home which people don't realize that they can do. So I kind of found that way. And also because maybe, I've been dancing at my house for so long, I kind of know so many things, like so many places where I can dance and so many things which I can do. But I think it was quite eye opening how I can actually take my home as my performance space.
Yeah.
And on that. So yeah.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Classes, teaching, so many things. Yeah.
Oh, that's so wonderful, Jainil. I love that. That's so fantastic. So how can people find you? I'm gonna be putting your information, but you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook.
Mhm. So yes, I have a channel on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I'm more active on my Instagram.
Okay.
Um, and also, like, of course I'm doing my YouTube, but I'm more active on my Instagram. And Facebook happens here and there, not a lot.
As much.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but also if they want to reach out to me, they can also email me. I can send you the email
Yes,
details.
please. So I can put all those links at the end of the interview so they can have access to you. Yes. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us tonight, Jainil.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course, of course. I'm trying to do this thing, and I want people to know about what's coming out of the Americas. And I know even though you're in India, you have been doing your school here, and you're gonna be working here in the United States, and you've done so many projects here. And I mean, look at it. You created an amazing organization at USC that is gonna continue
Yeah.
from now on. So you're doing such an amazing things that I wanted to share that with the world, and I wanted to talk about you. And it's beautiful that you came and you brought your culture and you created something at USC for all the students to come.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Also choreographing for like, there's a music artist, Big Wild. Uh,
Okay.
did a music video for him. And it was such an amazing experience. Like, getting these experiences in the US have been just, putting a lot of stuff in my treasure box.
Of
So
course. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. And we're so thankful that you were here with us today, talking to us and just giving us your time so we could chat and get to know you a little bit more. Is there anybody you would like to say hello as we conclude this interview?
hi guys, for everyone who's watching this.
Yeah.
I love sending lots of love to everyone. And yeah, as I always say, dream to dance and keep continuing.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much for giving me this time.